So the challenge of telecommunications as a key element of the infrastructure, there is a sense in which, one of the key aspects of telecommunications is standardization and standards, kind of wonky electronic standards. Because essentially the key aspect of telecommunications is to be able to communicate one to another. So you need to have standards, electronic standards and other sort of ways of standardizing, so that the two parties involved, through whichever, whether it's the internet or a phone or whatever, that those parties can communicate with each other, and that there's not different standards that restrict their communication. So this role of standards leads to very few players in the marketplace that have and hold the standards. So one of the challenges is you would like to have, you don't want to restrict competition in the discovery of the standards and the innovation around the materials production. You don't want to restrict competition because you don't want to restrict innovation. On the other hand, if they have too many different kinds of standards, too many different players, then there is a conflict of communications. You can't communicate with all the people you want to, because you need to have different platforms. You need to have like two different phones. Remember back in the day when there was a competition between GSM, CDMA, and one other standard for phones. And so anybody who traveled from the United States to Europe had to have two phones. So we're trying to reduce the cost of international communications, and that tends to promote the standardization and limit the number of players. To the extent that limiting players may yield, a player that's not of your own nationality, that can become a concern, because many different things are being communicated over international telecommunications channels. And you wouldn't want to have your citizens, your business, your financial flows, and so forth being restricted because of some limitations that could be put on these types of communications.